It began with the forging of a great notebook, born of high ambition, no sleep, a broke budget, and too much caffeine. All notebooks were created equal, but this one wanted power to rule over the overpriced printouts online. And every legend starts humble, plain, boring, coffee. I decided to make tabs for this to separate the pages, plus make it more organized than my brain. Since the notebook lied about 80 leaves and just had 78 leaves, and that is not enough for the vision I had. I needed an interchangeable calendar and other things. I measured the actual paper in the notebook to cut up my printer paper size. Just three more leaves so I can add more flavor to this boring notebook while doing so, making up a plan in my brain of the calendar. Anyways, I did plan some things, but it never ended up the same in my brain. So I just glued some backing on the printer paper, like cardboard boxes and such, to make it stabler than my decisions. I do have a lot of trash cardboard lying around, and what better way to use it than here, making this DIY backings again for stability. I wrote the days, months, weather, and feelings on printer paper, making it look passable, then cut all of it one by one. I wanted a different kind of vibe for the reward wall. Like instead of stickers, I wanted to be like pins or such. Not sure what goes on in my brain at that time, but I have this green tissue paper that fits the vibe, so I glued it at the corrugated side of my cardboard, and during this time, I felt like my glue is giving up on me. So let's take a moment of silence for my depleted glue. I found this on my hubby's toolbox. It's some kind of double sided tape that I used instead to stick the remaining tissue paper. I apparently unlocked a side quest while doing the project, and that's stitching Sheriff Labrador's ear back in his head. This was the time that I learned the lie of 80 leaves. I separated them, hoping to separate 10 sheets four times to make 80 leaves, but lo and behold, it's three 10 sheets and one 9 sheets. Multiply it by 2, it's 60 and 18, and add those, you get 78. Not 80, you lying notebook. You're welcome for the math lesson. I realized that the cover would be a great template for poking the holes on my paper. It already has four from the staple, so I just added one in the middle, just because I wanted to. Stop asking. Anyways, I use it so I can also line up the middle part, making sure I use my DIY poker, and it also has the tendency to break down like I do. So, yeah, enjoy some quiet time since this is long and I just want to shut up.
Okay lang yan kung nandun yung classmate mo, pero kailangan ko ng katahimikan ko. Pwede lang sana. Hello guys. Abi! Abi! Wait, Abi! Ding!
That's just a sneak peek on why I can't do ASMR vids. I watched the bookbinding basics from 4 Keys Book Arts and repeated it until I fall asleep. I think it was on for hours already, and I still managed to fail miserably. If you stick on, you'll see why I failed. Now, this is not what I watched, but if you do want to learn more about bookbinding, I'll link his playlist below. It helped out a lot. It's just that some instructions doesn't stick to my brain. I pushed through and just continued my failed attempts. Maybe next time I can be better. Just needed more practice. Maybe I'll just keep in mind that practice is done not on the actual project, so I don't have to cover up my mistakes and forget about it. I'll try to just look on the bright side and think that everything is going well. Wait, isn't that called delusion? Not having a positive mindset? Just push through. I'm almost done. Finally, the time for me to cover up all the mistakes I made and a few moments of peace and quiet from my background as well. Everything is going according to my brain map. This is the same poster board I used for the notebook. Since I have a lot left, I decided to cut it to size only if my camera decides to focus for once. And let me show you how this genius measure things. See? It's that easy. Now, I've seen my fair share of bookbinding ASMR on YouTube shorts and long form, and as a human with eyes, I just copied what they were doing, but making it with extra steps since I measured wrong. Apparently, you need a proper measuring tool to do that for you. Oh, look, I have a new glue, but this PVA glue is going to ruin my neurons. It keeps on drying up before I can even stick something to it. Maybe it's the fan above me, but I can't turn that off. I live in the South Pacific and it's hot, even when it's around January. When I'm finishing this up, this is the moment I want to cut it and start over again, but I'm out of resources and caffeine at that time, and I wanted to finish this before the end of January so I can stop procrastinating on things. After sticking it at, to the stitch notebook, I glued on the loose leaves and decided it would be best to transfer the rest of my footage to a corrupted SD card, never recovering it again, so you can just see everything from the calendar pages at the end of this vid. Promise, no cliffhangers here, just split ends. I finally made up my freaking mind about things and decided to jot down my plan for this notebook all along. Right after doing everything first. Since we're all done here, let's go and see the final shot. If you reach this part of the vid, I salute you for your patience. And if you want more chaotic, kind of useful crafts, consider subscribing. Also, like this vid if you did like it.